I did not see myself being a principal. I actually saw myself being an astronaut. So since the 7th grade, I remember my teacher, Ms. Gaspar, and the overhead projector. She would put these pictures of just astronauts and supernovas and stars and just different images of space. And so at that time, my childhood dream was to become an astronaut. And I always said, actually, I was like, no, I don't want to do nothing with like being a teacher, because I saw all the work that my teachers did just with like the different students that they encountered. So I was like, I don't think that's for me. Like, I just want to go to outer space and do what the astronauts do and be there with just a certain group of people and enjoy myself. That was my idea. I applied to be an astronaut and I got rejected. I started researching and seeing that some of the astronauts had doctorate degrees. And so I said, you know, maybe medical school is the way to go. So I started to apply to medical school and was going through that whole process of studying for the MCATs. And then I sat down with my mentor, then Luis Garden Acosta, and I said, you know, I'm applying to medical school as an opportunity to perhaps maybe be able to fulfill this dream of being an astronaut. But then on the other hand, I also have this component of, I love being a classroom teacher. And so, and I never forgot this. He said, well, you have two options. For medical school, he said, you can be a healer, and for education, you can be a transformer of souls. And so when he said transformer of souls, it was like, that is it. Like, this is my purpose in life. Utensil we're going to be using, the hearts. When you are done with the dissection, make sure you cover the hearts with this plastic and you put them in the trash. When I was at NASA, it was great experiences, but I didn't feel that sense of belonging like I did when I first walked into a classroom. Like, when I walked through that door, I saw just like the faces of the students just excited because they had a new teacher for that day. I was like, okay, like, I belong here. Like, I felt the excitement that they felt, which, you know, as I moved on in my journey through education, it's like that feeling of excitement never left. It's like I consistently looked forward to being in the classroom and being with the students and learning from them, because usually it's like, well, you know, you're the teacher, the students are learning from you, but it's like, no, like this, you learn so much from the students, from their lives, that it's like, I don't think students realize the impact that they have on educators, because they're the ones also teaching us some very valuable lessons. LAYC Career Academy is a school that serves 16 to 24-year-old students. We have college preparatory courses. We also have our technical careers that we offer our students. So we have our information technology program, our medical assistant program, and we also have our college pathway. So some of the obstacles that my students face have been homelessness. Some of them I know have grown up with parents who've been addicted to drugs. Some of our students also have suffered from mental illnesses, depression. Some of our students, you know, grow up in broken homes. So I know that that had an impact in the way that they see themselves. Their stories are what actually, you know, triggered a lot of the memories. I started to understand, like, when you're a child and things are happening, it's sort of like you don't really know what's going on. But now as you become an adult and you hear all of these other young people experience, you realize, wait a second, let me sit down and and sort of do this journey through my life experiences, just through conversations with my now beautiful husband David, with our church. I think that's where the healing process began. My students helped me to dig deep into my soul and realize what were my broken places. And at that moment, it was like, okay, this is the moment where you start your healing so that you're able to help others who have gone through the same experiences that you went through. So I see a lot of times when I talk to my students how they often mention their mothers. And so my mom is definitely someone that I've always kept in mind. You know, growing up in a single parent household, she was the mom and the dad. She was the encourager along with my grandma. So we lived with my grandma in Mexicali, Baja California, which is the Mexico side of the border. But I went to school in the US side of the border, which is Calexico, California. So we would cross every day so that I could go to school in the US. She went through a lot, you know, coming to this country illegally so that I could have an opportunity. It just always meant the world to me, seeing her hands. You know, from just, being in the fields like for 8 hours just picking out fruit and why not, was always a reminder of like, you need to work hard. The qualities that were instilled in me, they reflect in everything that I do, and I share it with my students. You know, I always mention the aspect of the importance to have integrity, to care for others, to show grace, to show mercy, compassion. I lead with that. But I think most importantly for my students, I always lead with a heart of love. And I know that they know this, that no matter what they do, they can never do wrong in my eyes. I love them not for like any mistake or anything like that. It's like, I always see past that. It's like, not for what they are at the moment, but for what they will become. It's like those, you know, women and men who are going to just thrive, not just, you know, in the worldly sense of like the accomplishments, but that their souls are going to thrive. And that's my prayer, that their souls